Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Yeah, just doing a little catch up with you. I want to start doing every week, all right, before we get into our guest. Just tell you a little bit about what's going on in my my squirrel nest nutty brain and my crazy life and all the good stuff. Just a little catch up, me and you guys, okay? Lots going on. It's we're recording this. It's August and I'm over here in Connecticut, Rhode Island. Summer's just booming. The garden's great. Fishing's great. The water's warm, swimming, having a blast. But I want to tell you guys a little update about myself too. Nothing crazy. I'm not moving to Thailand or anything nutty like that. Although that kind of sounds all right too, I guess. But no, just a crazy. I want to tell you guys, maybe I'll tell the next guest about this too. So I don't want to be too repetitive, but I got to go get surgery on Friday. I got a striped bass spine. That the dorsal fin broke off in my kneecap. Oh my God, is it painful? And it's been going on for a bit now, but they're putting me under. I'm going under the knife. All right, they're going to open up the old knee and hit it with the Dremel, pull out some stuff, shoot in some stuff, clean it out, stitch me up, Mr. Freaking Potato Head over here going under. We got a great guest today, guys, and I'll tell the full story. I don't want to go talking about myself too much, but it's a good one that I think it's a good story. I think that our buddy, our guest, our friend will enjoy. So we'll talk about it a little bit. Other than that, pretty good. It's kind of a bummer though. I'm going to be getting this surgery, going to be laid up for a little bit. Real bad timing. Okay, real bad location of an injury and just real poor timing. I'm supposed to be going to good old Block Island, Rhode Island, if you've never been. It's actually, you guys can't see it, but there's a great map up there with Block Island. I was going to talk about the shape. My wife calls it Cock Island. She's got a dirty mind, I guess. But it does kind of look a little phallic, like a little cock and balls, the old Block Island. But I'm supposed to, good God, Brad. But I'm supposed to be going there this Sunday. Okay, got a beautiful hotel, a couple friends going out, all right? No kids, bunch of adults having a good time. Disco night is on Monday, dancing, have a couple 2-3 drinks, dancing, maybe eat some psilocybin fungus, roll around in the sand, pretend like I'm a seal. Actually, that's a terrible idea because there's a lot of great white shark activity these days. Block Island's kind of in a high risk zone. Too, okay, right out of the Block Island Sound there, in between Montauk and Point Judith. Boom, you got Block Island. And sharks out there, big sharks. I ain't talking about no poor dogfish, all right? We're talking about great white sharks. Fucking Taxman 2000 coming in hot. But yeah, looks like it's not old Ding Dong Brad himself, old Mr. Potato Head over here, probably not gonna be able to go. What am I gonna do? Everyone's gonna be having fun, rolling around in the sand. Oh, let's go swimming. Oh, let's go dance till 2 a.m. and then go jump in the water naked. Everyone's having a blast. Yeah, where's Brad going to be, on crutches? I'd be so miserable. No one wants me there. I even told Peggy. Peggy's my wife for folks that are just joining us. Although we never got married, but I call her my wife because we've got a couple kids and we'll save that for another rant. But it's all good. We never got the whole ceremony thing. And that's where we're at, but we got some kids, we got a house. Where am I going? Where's she going? You never know. You never know. One of these days she's going to pack up the old Bronco and boom, take the kids with her. No, it's great. We love each other. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, everyone's going to be going out disco night, having fun, dancing, having a good time, but not old Mr. Potato Head Brad over here. I'm going to be so I told Peg, why don't you just go? Maybe I'll have grandma come up. Maybe not. I don't think it's going to be all that bad. I can't be worse than it is now. I feel like I got a razor blade in my friggin' knee, hobbling around. You guys should see me. It's ridiculous. Oh, hurts like a mother. So I said, Peg, why don't you just go? Why don't you just go, have fun, catch up with the friends. Let's face it, you'll have probably a better time without me, And yeah, it stinks. It's a bummer because we try to do this once a year and it's a fun trip. Last year was a blast. You know, we were out there, everything I just said. We're having swimming. The sun was out. It's just such a great little island, man. A fun little party time in the summer sometimes. And it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be in the cards for me. Even if it doesn't hurt that bad, I'm not going to be able to be up all night dancing around, I imagine, you know, freaking got a 1-inch piece of foreign object fish spine in my knee, punctured the patella, and that's where I'm at. You know, I can't imagine. Listen, I'm just hoping things don't get infected and go to hell on me, and they got to take my freaking leg because I got septic arthritis, or you know what I mean. You start Googling things, you start going online, WebMD and Dr. Leone over here. It's like Jesus Christ. You know, I'm gonna put a tourniquet on and take this thing out myself. You know, what are we talking about, Brad? You know. You sound stupid, Brad. Just go get surgery on Friday. Get this thing taken care of. Lay off the booze. Maybe don't walk around so much. I have a hard time taking it easy. You know, there's so much stuff to do. Summertime, you know, so much stuff, fun stuff. But then also, you know, you guys know how it is around in life, around the house, around the this. You got to do that. You know, all of a sudden, you got this big knee injury, and all you want to do, any injury like that, I've been injured a few times, all you really want to do is just get back to normal, you know? You just want to get back to normal, be able to do the things you do, go out, you know, take the garbage out without being in pain. You know how great that sounds right now? Sounds very nice because, you know, this has been going on for about 2 weeks now. It's been about a solid 2 weeks since the injury happened, but it wasn't that bad. So I put it off for a week. I thought it was a puncture in and out, but apparently something broke off in there. But it took over a week before I was like, you know what? I think I gotta go to a doctor because it's not getting better and it's actually starting to hurt more. So we got the x-ray. Oh, listen to this. All right. Before our guest gets on, we got a couple more minutes of yapping. I went to go get the x-ray technician. He was I'm not going to lie. This guy was kind of a dick. All right. He had a bad attitude, miserable man. So I go get the x-rays and I'm like, buddy, I don't even know why I asked him, you know, but read the room, Brad. What do you think this guy gives a shit? He's punching a clock. You know how many freaking x-rays that guy takes? He's probably been doing it for 30 years. He hates the hospital. He probably hates his job. You know, his wife left him, you know, because he's a miserable fuck. But he's taking my x-ray and I go, hey, bud, do you think there's something in there? He goes, I'm no doctor, but, you know, I ain't nothing in there. I'm like, great. So I guess it's why the hell is it getting worse? It must be infected or, so, you know, and then I should have known this guy, you know, and then I go and talk to the one doctor and she goes, well, the x-ray, it's hard to tell. I personally think there's something little in there, but we're going to send it to another facility, get someone, AKA we're going to ask somebody who's better than anyone in this building if there's something in there. And they're like, yeah, there's definitely something in there, you boneheads. And then they were like, yeah, you got to go to what do they call these guys? Orthopedic surgeon is where we're going. This guy's great. All right, we'll get into that. But I go over there and they're like, yeah, bud, you got something in there for sure. You can't be fooling around with this. This is freaky. I've never even seen anything like this. You're a real rarity, Mr. Leone. And so they give me the MRIs, the CAT scans. I got these freaking vacuum tube headphones on, dum, laying down there, driving all over the place. Co-pays out the freaking window. We're squared away. I talked to the doc this morning. Call me up. This guy's great. All right, young guy. Jack, looked like the kind of guy you'd want to go fishing with or drink a couple beers with or something. I like him. He's got a good attitude. Handsome. Can't have no ugly surgeons working on my knee. No, I'm just kidding. That's ridiculous. But he seems like a really nice guy, man. Seems to be squared away. Young, up to date. You know what I mean? I don't need old grandpa going through there freaking using the Dremel, using the old practices, smoking a cigarette, ashing in my goddamn wound. So we got this new stud. He's going to cut me open on Friday, a couple days. It's Wednesday. We got 2 more days. And we're going to pray for the best. You know, he's going to pull this thing out. Talked to him this morning. He sounds like he's got a good game plan. He's going to talk to a toxologist or whatever the heck these guys are called, because he's like, I'm not going to lie to you, Brad. I don't think not many of us have, we've been talking about you, bud. You know, not many people gotten fish dorsal spines lodged in their knee joint. Lucky me, doc. And so they talk to this guy. They're like, because they want to make sure if they got to get me on an antibiotic, it's someone who's a little more tuned into the microbiology of these bacterias and stuff, which I appreciate that. Instead of him just, I'm gonna give you the Z pack. See you later, bub. Old racist Bill, who should have retired 25 years ago. I don't know why he's racist, to be honest. I don't know why I keep saying he's racist, but you get it. He's an asshole. Time to go, bud. But no, we got this guy, and he talked to the specialty toxologist, infectious disease guy, or whatever the heck he called him. And they're going to get me dialed in because, there's different microbes on these fish, especially certain particular species of fish carry certain things other than other ones. And that's where we're at. But today's guest, guys, listen, enough about me, for God's sakes, Brad. All right? Although we're going to do this every week. I'm going to try to keep it to 10 minutes of yapping, okay, for your guys' sake. But just a little update, little therapy session, me talking to you. And I'm just, if you guys want to invoice me, that's fine, okay? I'll Venmo you a fraction of a penny each. That's about where we're at these days, okay? But thank you guys for listening to my rant. Today's guest is a special one, all right? We got a legend. All right, a legend of a man. We all grew up with him. If you were born in if you're a millennial, maybe you played Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Maybe you skateboarded down, pretended to kickflip down in your old shopping plaza behind the supermarket. Whatever, skateboarding's freaking awesome. We got a hammer of a man, an icon of the sport. Ladies and gentlemen, Geoff Rowley. Geoff, man, thanks for coming on, bud. Good to see you again. It's been a while now since the last time we hung out briefly over there in beautiful California, where you reside. You still live in California, right?
I do, yeah. I live in Orange County, California, and when we met, I think I was living in Long Beach, LA, back then, which was about 4 or 5 years ago, wasn't it? That we had a hamburger.
Must have been, man. Yeah, gosh,
in beautiful Los Angeles.
Good. You know what? I have a real love-hate with it, but it's waning more towards love lately.
Yeah, same. I mean, I live here. You can imagine going through COVID and the whole, I don't know, just the pressure of living here is a real deal. You know what I mean? The rat race is a real deal. You got to sign on for it to handle it, or it'll kick your ass.
Either you thrive or eventually kind of just jade out to it, or it just destroys you. I felt that way about, I guess that's any city, right? Like living in New York was kind of the same thing. It's hard being here, having such big kind of dirty cities with LA and San Diego and how beautiful our deserts and mountains are only 45 minutes away or 30 minutes away from the coast. And I think that's the juxtapose that gets everybody is it's hard to not look up at that mountain that's just inland from the coast and put a smile on your face, or look at the ocean and go, I'm going to surf in the morning, I'm going to go hunt in the evening. It's pretty
skate
special.
In the day.
I don't think I could personally live somewhere that wasn't have access to coast and then also good countryside, what I mean? And that's what I love about certain cities, again, I don't live in one anymore, but when you get just an hour outside of places like LA or New York, or, I guess plug it in, whatever city for the most part. Well, that's not necessarily true, but especially LA and New York, you get out into that Hudson Valley or into the deserts and the mountains, it becomes wow, there's so much amazing day trips or weekends that you can just go get into around those cities that I've always loved.
Yeah, I mean, we have an immense amount of public land here in California that doesn't get talked about.
Yeah, they tried to sell it, though.
Yeah, I mean, they try to sell everything, though, don't they? Let's face it. I mean, everything that's public, they're going to pull money from everywhere they can, every avenue, every source, every opportunity they get. That's just, unfortunately, that's just the nature of the world that we're living in now. The bubble has burst many years ago, and the washing machine continues to spin us all in flux. So I don't know. Hang on for the ride is what I'll say on that.
Well put, man. Well, before we go, just because I could talk to you for hours, man. I know I don't have you all day, but as someone growing up, what was it? I mean, early 2000s, right? When did Tony Hawk Pro Skater first come out? What do you remember? What year roughly? It wasn't the 90s, was it?
No, I think it did come out 2000 or 2001 or round about that time, which was kind of like the tail end of the 90s going into the early thousands explosion, where action sports kind of took reign, didn't it, for a while there, and I don't know, took over a lot of kids and including my life. That was the explosion.
Sorry, you didn't grow up out in California, right? I mean, obviously you got a nice little accent going there, but from the UK, I believe, right?
Yeah, I have a very exotic accent from the northwest coast of England, the industrial port town of Liverpool.
Oh, good old Liverpool.
So, I'm from the Beatles city, and I went to the same school as John Lennon, funnily enough.
Let me ask you a question, Geoff, just so you know, because I never really asked anyone, and I've heard it thrown around a bunch. Is it offensive to call someone from Liverpool? Is Scouse offensive?
No.
It's not.
No, quite the opposite. I would say
okay.
it's a compliment. I mean, a Scouser is somebody that is from the city of Liverpool, but is a local.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So they have a true Scouser will sound like he's living within 5 miles of where he was born, if you know what I'm saying. It's no different than, I'm sure you have slang names for people from upstate New York or whatnot, right? It's a similar thing, except Liverpool's a different city. It's a real industrial port town. Big part of the Industrial Revolution and all of the trade progress from the turn of the century. A lot of that was coming through Liverpool, and during the Second World War, a lot of the food and things that were being fed through to the UK were coming through Liverpool. So it has a very culturally diverse kind of history, and it makes it kind of unique from the whole country. So calling someone a Scouser can be a compliment. Call me a Scouser, I'm happy with it. That's where I'm from.
Glad we cleared that up. Myself and hopefully some other folks.
Just don't be a Scouser and go into the crowd for a Manchester United soccer game, and scream that you're a Scouser. You'll get your head ripped off.
Yes, yeah, that's old Man United. That's the thing with that culture over there. I love it, man. Like the football. I mean, I don't like the violence, and maybe it's dialed down since like the movies.
Yeah, there's cameras everywhere now, Brad. You can't get away from cameras.
You can't smash someone in the head with a bottle anymore, huh?
Not anymore. Not unless you want it on live television.
Yeah,
which some might. Yeah, some might, but no, I'm from Liverpool. I moved to the US in 1994, moved to Southern California to sunny Huntington Beach, flew into Los Angeles.
I'm still a little more, I got to talk a little bit more about Liverpool, man.
Okay.
So you moved there, you moved out when I think you said your late teens there, but like.
Just turned 18.
Okay. Wow. So Liverpool, right, to my knowledge, is kind of notoriously a pretty rough neighborhood too, right? A little scrappy town there.
Yeah, it can be. It has all sides, though. It has beautiful sides to the city, historical sides, but it is a rough and tumble city.
Kind of a stereotype, but some truth to it.
Yeah, I mean, when I was growing up, it had the highest unemployment, highest teenage pregnancy, and highest crime rate in the country, I think.
Alcohol,
so that
drugs.
Tells you anything. Yeah. Kind of rough, like Chicago-ish, in the wrong side of town at the wrong time of the day or night.
Right.
You get out there. But no, it's not as, I would say it's not as rough as when I was growing up there. I think it is a little bit cleaner, but it has everything. I'm not gonna say anything other than good things about Liverpool, because it is an incredible city. Incredible people.
I wasn't fishing for that. But growing up, was it, I mean, a lot of fights, or how'd you get into skating? I mean, like.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of council estates. Like I said, it's not a lot of like really wealthy, affluent people run around everywhere. So, there's a lot more human conflict. And yeah, we got in a lot of fights. We got in a lot of conflicts, but it was usually just defending yourself or running away or recognizing something was about to happen and getting out before it happened.
Right.
But yeah, you see everything growing up in a big city, don't you? If you grow up in Brooklyn, you see everything growing up. If you're right in the mix with it all, you see stuff you shouldn't see. You see stuff you maybe is good for you to see.
Well, it's as they say, right? City kids grow up quicker, man.
Yeah, there's definitely a truth to that. Like, at 18, I'd already traveled all over Europe, everywhere, slept in bushes and freaking graveyards, wherever we could find that was safe.
Geoff, we got to get someone to make a movie about your life. It would be a good one. I don't know who would play it, but they'd find someone cool. They'd find some proper scows.
Ewan McGregor or somebody put on a
No,
Scouse accent?
someone younger. It'd have to stage out. Maybe it'd end with you. You know, maybe it would be like it'd end with maybe your big. You've never acted, right?
No, not really. I mean, I'm fairly comfortable in front of the camera, if you know what I mean. Depends on what day. I've done a bunch of live color commentary for FS1, ESPN, for the Street League skate contest, SLS, which is Rob Dyrdek's skate contest that he founded.
For folks that don't know Geoff, he's being very modest and humble, in my opinion. Geoff is a legend. He's definitely been in front of cameras. He's been doing it, man. He's been a pioneer of the sport forever. And that's what I wanted to kind of ask you too, man. Like, when did I remember, like, and who kind of got me into, and I sucked, don't get me wrong. It's embarrassing. We don't even need to talk about that. But like, I remember when I first started and like how cool it was, like every day after school, like everyone meeting up and going skating. And, you know, again, good things and bad things. People got hurt. Someone caught trucks to the head, had to get stitches. You know what I mean? When did you get involved in that? It was like a group of buddies or something?
You know, I seen a guy skating around, a couple of guys that were older than me in my school, that were already developed. They'd already turned into adults with mustaches and all the above. And they were kind of punkers, you know. They had Iron Maiden shirts, Overkill on the back of their denim jackets. And one of them had a green shaved head and the other one had like just a mohawk.
Patches and spikes and shit.
Patches and spikes, full punk, like like classic, like North English punk.
Yeah.
And so I was going to school and I remember just seeing them with these new modern looking skateboards that I'd never seen before. So I think of like Back to the Future before you'd seen any like really fast wheels, and you'd only see the banana board before that. I saw that and I don't know what it was, just something appealed to me. I looked at it, the graphics, the colors of the wheels. I think it just matched everything, like the whole kit. And I'm like, that looks like a fast skateboard. I want to have a go on that. And it kind of started there where I seen that guy around, and then I saw the modern skateboard, and then a friend of mine got one, and then I saw he had one. Then I sat on it down a hill and I'm like, man, those wheels were fast. I've never gone that fast. It felt good. And it kind of just started there. That was maybe just before Christmas. 88 to 89 maybe, or 89 to 90, one of those 2 years. Memory fades me. I banged my head enough times by now. But that's kind of how I started, just by seeing people around. And then I went into the first skate shop, having not being a skater, looking at skateboards. And I just remember seeing all of the different graphics and the smell of all of the hand screen printed boards and all the original artwork that just you might not see again if you go in the skate shop next time, because the graphics would always change because the boards would change on the wall. So I think I liked that creative explosion, you know, I think I did. And I was very, very much into like team sports. I played a lot of soccer. I played a lot of cricket. I did cross country running. I played snooker. You know, I did all the, yeah, dude, I did. Snooker? I played snooker. I don't know what snooker is. It's like pool.
Oh, okay.
You know, with a cue.
Yeah.
Look it up. It's a different game. It's a bigger game. It's all score based and number based. And I played all traditional sports. But then when I picked up a skateboard, it just slowly, everything else slowly just took the wayside. And it just was a natural thing. You know what I mean? I enjoyed doing something. I just did it more. And so when you do something more, something else is pushed to the back curb. But if you look at early skate pictures of me, like the first pictures of me that were shot in English skate mags, they're pretty funny because I had like Liverpool football shorts on and Liverpool like football club socks on with skate shoes and a skate t-shirt, because I would play for the local team on the Saturday, go home, take my shin pads out and then go put my skate shoes on and go into the city. But I was too frantic to get skating to change my socks and my shorts and
it's
stuff
ahead
like
of your
that.
time, Jeff. Trendsetter, bud.
Oh man, whatever it takes, right? Like I think anyone, yourself included, right? You've sat in a kitchen and you've cooked your head off, haven't you?
Oh, sure. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I've skated my face off.
Yeah.
Ever since I started, and because I enjoy it and I love doing what I'm doing. I think that plays a big part of it. I think we're blessed. I'm blessed in that, you know, I found skateboarding, but I'm also blessed in that I found an outlet that can get out aggression, it can get out pleasure, it can get out
big time
anything that's in my head.
Becomes a therapy for it. You know what I mean?
It's natural.
Yeah, and it is such a physical sport, man. You know, like it always blew me away, you guys. You know, and you make it to that level. Like I'd be in a fucking wheelchair for the rest of my life if I did attempted a half of the stuff you ever did. You know what I mean? Like, and that's, oh my God, that's being generous, but it's more like you obviously have a natural talent, and there was always those kids that like, you know, I dabbled around. It took me 7 years to goddamn ollie. You know what I mean? Like, but like some kids just had that natural, before you know it, they're hitting ramps and jumping on rails or trying to kick down staircases at the school. You know, those were all, I was always just kind of the dude trying, doing my own stuff, but I had some buddies that were pretty good with it. And like, it was just such an amazing, I think it's one of the hardest sports to do. I mean, it's a piece of wood with wheels. I mean, I don't have to describe it to everyone, but then when you're not just rolling around, but you're jumping. You were always known for just going hard, Geoff. Like you were the guy that just like, in skate videos and stuff, that would just be like, you'd see this scrappy, skinny dude just ripping down, no shirt on, jack skinny dude ripping down and flying over some staircases that people would have a hard time walking up. Yeah, it's just amazing, man. And like when you got into it early, was there like a group of friends that you kind of started with, and then it just kind of developed? And like how'd that experience go from just starting to becoming, a pro and your next transition to the States?
We had a really good scene, a really good skate scene in Liverpool. We've already touched Liverpool is kind of a rougher city, you know what I mean, a rough and tumble city. So when kids from all over the city come into the downtown area to skate, and you're from all over the place, from the north, the south, the east, the west, and you get together, and you might have a broken family, you might have just had whatever, your mother might have kicked you out because you're skating too much, whatever it is to get away. I think we had a lot in common in our scene, in our Liverpool scene. And I think if you look at the Liverpool skate scene now, you can see that it's a very warm skate scene, a very hearty skate scene, a very healthy one. And I think that absolutely played a big role in my ability to stand up and go after it.
When did skating was there folks, I mean, it sounds like it, right? But there was folks skating in Liverpool. Like, did you start with the scene, or like when did it?
No,
earlier?
There was a pro skater before. I mean, skating's from like what 60s,
right? Late
60s, early 70s, and skating. Liverpool has kind of an old scene, like from the early 70s. Like my best friend growing up started skating in 1978, I think it was 76, 78, somewhere in there. And I still skate with him. Do you know what I'm saying? So we had a really good scene. A lot of really good skateboarders came from the city of Liverpool, including guys that I grew up with, that some of them went on to be pros. Well, not just me, a guy named Howard Cook, a guy named Brian Sumner. But first and foremost, when I was growing up, the guy we looked up to was a guy called Neil Dans. He was a vert skater, and he had a pro board, and he was sponsored by American companies, and he was who we looked up to. He was a vert skater. I'm a street skater, and he was picture like knee pads, elbow pads, hip pads, helmet, and he was from a rougher side of the city, an area called Granby Street. And he would take us to a bunch of ramps. We would just get in his vehicle, help him pay for gas, and he would take us to the local skate park, which was an hour away. Like, we had no skate parks in Liverpool, and he opened the local skate shop called Off the Wall, and so we all looked up to him. We had that to look up to, and his name, for the most part, is forgotten by a lot of people, but he was a very instrumental pro for us all in the north of England to look up to. So I want to mention that Neil Dans' name, because I think
legend.
Yeah, he is truly a legend.
Heck yeah.
He was during the kind of the disco period. He was a professional disco dancer before he was a professional skateboarder, which is a pretty cool thing if you think about it.
Just stud of a man, huh?
Just disco dancing and then going straight to the vert ramp and doing like moves on the vert ramp.
Good at both, dude. He must have been just kicking the ladies off him.
Absolutely.
What was his name again? Let's shout it out one more time.
Neil Dans.
Neil Dans, you stud of a man. If you listen to this, let's chat sometime, buddy. My gosh. Yeah, dude. So, and then when did you, so it started getting serious? You started really getting into it, like you said. And then when did the idea, what made you said you moved out to LA when you were, 18? Did you do that to kind of pursue skating?
No, I was sponsored by a company at that time, and the guys that I was sponsored by, they were getting investors from the US to move the company to the US, and that was Tony Hawk, you know. So that ended up happening like '94, and so I moved with those two guys that started that company early '90s, '94. Before the company was really even set up, I was very driven, very driven. I just wanted to pursue my dream, Brad. Like
And it was
I
the skate.
couldn't wait. I was biting at the bit. I was literally biting at the bit. I was ready to go. I was little Nos at the bottom of the trailhead. Little Nos with my mule that passed away. I was little Nos at the bottom of the trailhead, waiting to hammer that mountain. That was me every single day, waiting to come to America.
Wow.
I just wanted to see it. I just wanted to see what it looked like. I just wanted to see what the skate spots looked like that I'd seen in magazines. Were they gnarly? Were they big? Were they scary? Was the ground smooth? Could I do it? Was it just out of my realm? Just very, very intriguing. And you know, I think that, yeah, that was really the drive more than anything. Nothing else really matters. That was it. That was the drive. I wanted to go and try and be a professional skateboarder, and you aren't going to stop me.
Right. And LA was the place to be?
Southern California was the place to be growing up. If you looked at like skateboard magazines and looked at the addresses of all the skate companies, it usually said Huntington Beach, Costa Mesa, Fountain Valley, you know, Compton, El Segundo. El Cajon was a big one back in the day. Like, you know, a lot of brands down to San Diego. So yeah, I just wanted to engulf myself in the culture like everybody does that comes to the place that's the epicenter of the industry or the thing that they love. Not knowing, I knew nobody.
Right.
I didn't know anybody, not one
person.
person.
Yeah.
Not a person. I had $150 and a dream. I had £100 that I'd saved up, probably like £50 or 60, and my parents saved up and gave me the rest. That's all I had.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have a choice to fail, right?
Yeah.
I had to win or I'm screwed. I'm going to feed myself.
Where'd you end up? So you moved there, you flew out there, and I land. Where were you sleeping? What were you doing the first?
I flew to LAX, and I remember we were in, I think it was a rental car for the first little bit. And I remember just coming from the airport and seeing all the neon signs. I remember flying into LA going, oh yeah, this is a big one. You know, because if you've never, like I've traveled all over Europe, literally all, other than like Eastern Europe as a kid, like all, you know, Holland, Belgium, Germany, all of those cities. LA's bigger. It's a beast.
Flying
massive
into LA,
suburbs.
Flying into LA freaks me out. It almost makes me feel like you know, it's kind of like why I would never want to live there. And I don't get claustrophobic, and I love it when I'm down there. It's beautiful. I would thrive there, I think. But like flying into it, you're like, this is unnatural. This is insane. It's just concrete and home and civilization for as far as you could see. Like it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, they dammed up all the rivers from the mountains, so all from the mountains, all the rivers that come out of the mountains to the coast turn to concrete drainage ditches.
Right.
So when you're flying over in the plane, that's what you look for, Brad.
Just these arteries. It does. It
Just
looks
these
like
arteries. Yeah, I do map work in the mountains to look at where those rivers come into the cities to find skate spots.
Really?
Like, yeah, I've found some of the best, like architectural looking spots in areas that you couldn't get to ordinarily by just looking at map work, remote reservoirs or water holdings. You can find 40-foot, 50-foot banks in some of those places. Like, but no, that's what LA's good for. But what it's not good for is swallowing you up alive. It's like Mos Eisley Space Station. If you're not careful, it will scoop you up, and it will push you into the dirt, and you'll just be washed away.
Right. It's a grinder.
But that part of it didn't scare me. I wasn't overwhelmed. Even as a little
you weren't
kid,
a countryside kid, Geoff. You know what I mean? You were you had your teeth cut in city.
I had my teeth cut, but I was definitely just definitely taken by it. It's definitely a huge place. No car, didn't know where I was at.
And you're by yourself. Yeah. I mean, you're 18. I mean, it's it must have been a little scary, a little exciting, but also like, oh shit, you know, like a little butterfly in the belly.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have any proper sponsors. I wasn't really getting paid, so I had to start, you know, picking the phone up and getting to know the sponsors now that I was local. And all the above. You're insecure, you're scared, you don't know if you're making the right decisions, you don't know if the company you're working with is the right one. Those same insecurities that everybody else has as a young kid, you have them whatever you do, right? Like, you know, if you're going to get paid, Benny, you have to build a relationship with somebody, right? And that takes a little while.
Right.
That takes a little while to do. So I was scared laying in the bed at night, you know, I'd cry a little bit. I definitely felt lonely. I wrote a lot of letters to my mother and friends of mine, you know.
Sure.
And that helped. I've always been a pretty, I would say, creative, open. So I write a lot, I draw a lot just to get my feelings out.
Good.
Like I usually doodle a bunch, but that period of time I was writing a lot of letters to friends to get through it. But it was a trip. It's scary, Brad, very scary. And there wasn't money in it. You weren't looking at it going, well, I can be like, you know what I mean? I can turn into Eminem. Your goals are, you don't know what they are.
That rock star boom too, where guys are getting paid big money. That didn't happen for anyone.
That hadn't happened
Wasn't a
yet
thing.
in the early 90s. I mean, when I first moved and we were going down and staying with Tony Hawk or skating around, like I'm pretty sure he couldn't make a living at that moment. I'm pretty sure he was barely making enough money to buy the basic groceries, let alone rent and stuff like that. There was just nothing in it. And then, you know, I think the industry got its legs around that time, and it was because of people like Tony and, you know, maybe a newer generation of brands and people that just wanted to see it be more accessible, be more relatable. Like everyone that came before me, the Powell and Peralta and Santa Cruz, and that whole like Bones Brigade era before the 90s skaters, to me, that was too predictable. It was too predictable. It was amazing. It was everything I ever wanted, but it was predictable. It became predictable.
The skating,
so,
you mean?
The skating, the videos, the ads. And so I think that next explosion of action sports that you've seen from the late 90s all the way through into the thousands with the Tony Hawk video game and the Rob Dyrdek show and the BAM show and all those things that brought such beautiful light to skateboarding.
That was my childhood. That was me. Like, you were living it and chasing your dream. I was watching 411 videos with my buddies and smoking pot and then, you know, hitting ramps and we built a little park. Like,
Brad, I was doing the same thing.
Right. but clearly different skill sets. But yeah, man, that's like, I remember just like watching those videos and like, you know, Zero and Jamie Thomas, you know, like, and what was the one shoes I always had? The Mark Johnson, America's or something.
Yeah, America's still around, and Jamie's still around. Jamie's still ripping. And
Chad Muska and stuff.
Chad's still around. Chad's actually doing really good right now. He's like skating again, you know.
I saw him DJ in Brooklyn one time. At a bar I was cooking at.
Yeah.
And he was doing a DJ set.
Yeah, Chad's good at everything he does.
Is he?
Absolutely everything. Yeah, he's one of those people. It's one of those people, he's so good at everything that he keeps doing other things as well, if you know what I'm saying. And, but he was an absolute pleasure to skate with. All of that old Muska period, I skated with him quite a bit, and I loved it. He was great to skate with. He had great energy. He was great personality. He was a lovely man.
Yeah.
He was friendly, and he was great to kids. He was just great to his friends. I like Chad a lot.
I'd love to hear that.
I miss him in skating, you know. But Jamie's still skating a lot. I still talk to Jamie Thomas. Jamie rips.
Cool. Yeah, I love to hearing the guys on the inside of it say like, yeah, it was just, you know, it was a good dude. Because I feel like that culture, there must have been a lot of scumbags too, man. And you don't have to go naming names, but I'm sure there must have been, you know, it's because
you know which ones they are.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, right. They don't exactly hide it.
Yeah, exactly. And the guys that kind of are still around for a reason. You know, Eric Costin, Andrew Reynolds, Jamie Thomas, you know, Chad Muska, Rune Glifberg. Like, they're around for a reason.
Yeah, Geoff Rowley.
They transcend, you know what I mean, time and space a little bit, and they do it for the right reasons. I think my generation, like, that's something that I think is pretty universal. Like, we're pretty relatable. We all are very much out for not just yourself, for the good of the industry. Like, if the next generation doesn't pick it up and it's done, then you haven't been a good bastion of that, have you? You haven't really passed that torch on very well. So I do take it on a little bit that, like, hey, it's important to support, you know, amateur skateboarding, important to support contests, events, just things that include young generations.
A positive steward of the art is how I would like to say it.
yeah, it's important to me. And
Yeah.
the older I get, the more I'm around it, Brad, the more those goals that I have were before my goals were, I want to do the gnarliest thing. I want to jump between skyscrapers and try to not die, but I want to do the gnarliest thing, because if you're going to step into that realm, why not go full bore? You're dead anyway. You're dead anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
on
when
that.
did when did it start? When did the gas start catching on the fire there? When did it start being like, all right, this is getting going here? I remember like you had a big Thrasher, you skater of the year or pretty early there.
I've filmed the whole time I've been a skateboarder and living in the United States. I've been making full length skate videos. So my goal, you know, when I'm done with this and I hang up my whatever it is, my carcass is what I'm gonna hang up, like the empty skin
rack
with no bones in it, just hang it over, put it over the mantelpiece. You know, is to look back and see periods of time where you progressed and you documented that progression. That's what I enjoy about it. I like seeing that, and that keeps, it's actually kind of personal as well, meaning no matter what happens in the industry or your sponsors or people around you, nothing can touch that. My goal of pushing myself and progressing, you know, is it. So I've never let off the gas, and that's you know, that's something that I think if I do, it will be done. Kind of thing.
I don't think you can, and I think that's what people love about you too, man. It's always been that way, from the early days of watching you on videos to even what you're doing now, man. But when did it start to? Was it like? When did it start to like? When did you start making money and like getting your first like apartment or something, and like get fired up about like, wow, this is like I don't want to say made it, but like this is fucking working here.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it took a couple of years from when I was first turning pro and moved to the States to like figure out how to, you know, get paid by the sponsors and find the right partners that would trust me and believe in me. And then, you know, get enough money to buy my first car. I think it was $1,600 for a Volkswagen Carmen Gear. And then I moved into the first apartment maybe after 2 years, 2.5 years or something like that, with a friend of mine, and we split the rent. So I'd say around about 97, something like that, I started to be able to afford an apartment with 1 or 2 people, you know, a 2-bedroom apartment with 2 people and enough to feed myself.
So are you
not
doing
much money?
You doing like you doing job? Are you working, or are you just skating and
I worked a little bit in our it was called Birdhouse Distribution for a few months, setting up skateboards to get me through a few months, right?
Yeah.
But I wasn't paying rent then, because the first year we had the luxury of staying in the guy that was partnering with us. We had the luxury of staying in his house till we were able to afford an apartment. So the company I moved with got the team an apartment for the first short while. So there's probably 10 skaters in that apartment or more.
Birdhouse you're talking about?
Yeah, that was the name of the distribution at the time, but it was also the name of Birdhouse Skateboards within the distribution.
Okay, cool.
Long story short, like after a year or two, I was able to pay for rent. But when it really, you know, my daughter asked me this like a few months ago. My daughter's 10 years old. I have the most beautiful daughter. And she asked me this question. How big of a question is this? Dad, hey, when did you know that you'd made it?
Oh, gosh.
My answer to her was, I never did.
Yeah.
I never did. I don't know. No, I honestly, even then, I think there's a little bit of, if you feel like you've done it and you're doing a little bit of that, I should say, I don't feel like that, like that ego side of it, if you know what I mean. Like they're just small goals, really. And like the tricks and the success, I guess, with the partners, like working with Vans and having 25 years of signature product continuously, it's an effort.
Yeah.
It's an everyday, it's an effort. And that to me is making it, is living the dream that you want. So I would say just, I'm blessed with my whole life kind of thing. Like once I became a skateboarder, I'd living the dream, I've made it. But it wasn't the day that I turned pro.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a cumulation of just a lot of those feelings.
Sure.
I would say on it. But around about 2000, the industry started to pick up, meaning kids started to buy Volcom clothing like crazy, Vans shoes like crazy.
Volcom was the coolest.
Tony Hawk video game like crazy. And so all of us that were involved in that, you know, our salaries went up, our skate industry became competitive, then, you know, a skateboarder could actually make a living. But it wasn't your Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and it never has, and it never will be. But it was a good living for a chunk of guys. That you know, the guys that are still doing it, like your Eric Costons, Jamie Thomases, and them. That foundation there during that period was good for all of us, you know. But you have to have the name behind it and the effort and the character, right? You have to have the work behind it and the work, or you're not going to still be around. So that's a testament to those guys and my generation, that they're still around and still relevant, and sponsors will still pay them and all the above. So that's when it started to happen, early thousands. And I partnered with, I would say I made some fortunate partner decisions. I left my prior sponsor, who was a very big footwear company. It's called Airwalk, and they were $500 million.
Airwalk, you said?
Brad, they were $500 million in sales, and I left them.
I forgot about Airwalk.
Yeah, and I left them. I took a 50% pay cut, and I went to Vans, who was half the size of that $500 million company and not doing very well, like tanking.
Oh, that's a risky one, Geoff.
Isn't that risky at 22?
I'm not sure I would have had. Why were they just a better? You believe?
No, they were terrible. It was a changing time, like I said, and skateboarding was picking back up again, and the Airwalk brand at that time wasn't making good skateboard footwear. It forgotten, and it stopped listening to the athlete.
Okay.
And so I was a headless chicken going, who am I going to work for? I don't really like any skateboard shoe companies. I wasn't a fan of actually any of them. I liked true, pure skate shoe companies.
Right.
And Airwalk was that. Vans is that. America is that, actually. And so is Etnies.
Right, Etnies.
And there's a few other ones, but those are the ones that appeal to me. It's weird. I'm a very traditional guy, where if I look at myself and I look down at myself when I'm skating, and if I feel like I'm distracted from what I'm doing, if I'm not a part of the, you know, the gear and the culture of it, I don't feel good like that. You know what I mean? If you gave me a pair of J. Crew pants and I was to go out and skate in a pair of J, even though they fit the same, I'm still going to, in my brain, I'm going to go to this J. Crew logo on the inside, hang on the waistband, it's rubbing up against the back. I can't even skate now. I want to focus my board, and I just snap my board and walk away.
Wow.
When I left Airwalk, I took my shoes off at a skate spot and threw them up in the tree. I wrapped them up, threw them as high as I could in the tree, and I'm like, I am never compromising my shoes ever again.
Wow.
And I never did, and I went to Vans. So all of us had those decisions, and it could go one way or the other way, right? I partnered with the Vans brand at a time when they were struggling, and I worked hard to get it back on track.
Yeah,
and that worked out well for me.
If you asked someone 10 years younger than me who Airwalk was, they wouldn't have a single idea. But Vans, I mean, yeah, that's like you got early in on Apple on that one, man. That's like they blew up, right?
They're early, yeah. I mean, at the time, they weren't really making very good skateboard shoes. They weren't.
All right.
You know, so it was an opportunity is what it was, and an opportunity for me as much as it was an opportunity for the brand to get back on track. If I'm completely honest, I was well supported by them the whole way through, even from day one, but it was a challenge. I was challenged by the president, I was challenged by the head of product, I was challenged by multiple people within the brand when I first came in there. And so I had to stand up. And that's not easy to do when you're an independent contractor. You're not an employee. So you have to be headstrong. And so that's what I had to do. And I'm thankful I did, to the benefit of myself and the Vans brand. We've had a great relationship, and we've made great product. And we've made a lot of people very happy and put a lot of smiles on people's face just by the way that the Vans brand does business.
I mean, it's a global.
I take pride in that.
It's a global name in skate and surf, man. You know, and like I didn't know that about you. I didn't know you worked with them, and they must have. It's cool to hear your perspective of it, of having to be a part of a company like that, but also like help them get back, because integrity is everything, right? And especially when the brand. I hate kind of saying this, but like. The Geoff brand, like it's you skating. You're not selling, Coca-Colas or something. It's a person, and it's kind of like, I guess, me with like doing videos or something, right? Like what you do and the decisions you make and the things that you represent and the brands you work with kind of make or break it, man. People smell bullshit a mile away.
Yeah, I mean, you still have to build partnerships, right? Like you're only as good as well as the people you work with, is right? Like people have got to put your work forward and out there. Same with mine. No one's gonna, no one. Like I skate and I'll do gnarly stuff with nobody around as a kid. It doesn't matter if I'm filming or taking photos. I'll still do it. It doesn't matter. It never did. It's not the point, right? It's gonna happen no matter what. But it's nice to have the right support from footwear, apparel across the board like that, because you can be bigger and better with that. And like I said, that partnership has been amazing. It's been amazing, and they've done so much for skate culture. Like you look at what Tony Hawk's done and what Bam Margera's done, and Rob Dyrdek in showing people how fun skateboarding is. And yet, if you look up Rob Dyrdek was a phenomenal pro skater. He was
he was nasty. Yeah,
he was a great skater. And when he was younger, he was banging good.
Yeah.
And Bam Margera's an incredible skateboarder, and Tony Hawk's one of the best. You know what I'm saying? So it's I don't know. We're just blessed.
Yeah. Well, there's something to be said. I just hearing you speak and knowing your story a bit, man, and there's people that make it in these aggressive, competitive, hard on the body, hard on the mind. I mean, I guess you can kind of plug in anything, but especially something like skating, like your mentality of just, you can't go in it, right? I mean, and maybe some people do, but and talent just kind of speaks for itself. But like, it seems to people that just love it no matter what. It was in their blood, in their DNA, and success just kind of happened, fortunately. And I'm sure there was skaters better than you that never made it for whatever reason. They started banging dope or quit skating or, got a family and just stopped doing whatever the case may be. That ambition, that drive, just oozes out of you, man. And people I've met like you, who's going to stop it? It sounds like I don't know. It's a weird thing, right? And it's awesome when you see it happen to people.
Everybody's flesh and bone, Brad. You know what I mean? And like, you're only as good as the next slam. Next is the best, as they say. And you can't. I don't live in fear. You can't live in fear. You get this far down the road. I'm not gonna kind of stop doing that now. But it does take its toll. Beats the living daylights out of you. I've never made a video that I didn't break a bone in.
Right.
Jeez. Like no joke, like I haven't just broke a bone, broke my arm, my hand, and had one surgery on my knee and one surgery on my ankle, and that's it. Like every day that we go out, we're smashing ourselves in concrete, Brad. You mean you've skated, No. Before I was even 18, I'd broke both my ankles.
No, I couldn't do it.
All right, well, let's work our way up. My left ankle, I broke my left ankle twice. I broke my right ankle once. I've had about 50 fragments of bone removed from my left ankle. I've had left meniscus. I've had right meniscus, right, both on the outsides of your knees. I've had a cyst on the inside of my knee removed to where I couldn't feel the nerves of my leg, on the inside of my leg, for a year.
Oh, my God. You haven't even gotten to the arms yet.
I broke my arm, my right arm. I've not broke my left arm. I broke my right arm. I broke my right hand. I broke my right collarbone twice.
Fuck, Geoff.
Smashed my teeth out 3 times. Stitches here, stitches in my lip, stitches on the crown of my head, stitches across here. And those are the good ones, Brad, because I can talk about those. The ones that really hurt are all like internal. I've lacerated my kidneys, bleeding internally. I have a tear in my labrum right now, which is in my right hip joint.
Just stop.
Am I making you sick?
No, not making me sick. It's just like, God, and it's one of the, I was a pussy. I didn't have the talent, but like, man, I was scared to get hurt. You know what I mean? You're never going to get that good if you're scared to get hurt. I felt like, especially in a sport like skating, it sounds like it's not if. It's like riding a motorcycle, right? It's like, it's not if, it's when. You're going to get hurt.
Yeah, but then I know a couple of pro skaters like a Mark Appleyard, who's a skater of the year for Thrasher, one of the best skaters that ever lived, and he's broke his arm. That's about it.
He falls like a magician.
He doesn't fall.
He doesn't fall.
He's that good.
Oh, God.
Not every one of us is what I'm saying. Not every one of us is as gung-ho and beaten up as I am.
Right.
But I mean, that's what it looks like to be a professional skateboarder that's skated street their whole life.
That's why.
I'm not crying wolf.
No.
Like it. It's fine. You know why I climb mountains now.
Right.
I just answered it to you.
Right.
You know why.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's what I said before. I think it's one of the hardest sports because like, you're just crashing awkwardly onto concrete and stairs and handrails and like, oh, I remember seeing the wipeout section in videos where like so many people must have gotten so hurt in that sport. I mean, just hearing your battle wounds, and I mean, you're an extreme case being, one of the craziest fucking pro skaters that I've ever seen charge down a massive staircase. I mean, that's just the ones you got away with too that I see. And I mean, how many times have you fallen or something? My God.
Yeah, I mean, and I've been where other people have slammed, tore their urethra, so they're bleeding out the end of their pecker, which was really gnarly. Hemorrhaging on the brain, broken neck.
Well, since we're talking injuries, I was telling the folks a little earlier, I gotta tell you about an injury I have real quick. Just a quick little segue. I think you'll appreciate a nice little kind of injury. So I was fishing with my son. We got a nice little center console boat out in the ocean here, inshore, striped bass, right? And he gets one. He's reeling it in, having a blast. The rod's all bent over. In saltwater fish, it's cool, man. They get pretty big. They fight well. And he gets this striped bass in, and it's probably 26 inches. A nice bass, and probably weighs, I don't know, 8 pounds or something like that, whatever. And probably not even. And we get it in. I get the hook out. He's all fired up, right? And I go, Griff, you got to hold it by the lip. Hold it two-handed by the lip. Let's get a picture real quick, bud, before we get it back in the water. It's too small to keep because I love cooking the fish that they catch. But this was too small to keep. They have a slot size, very, very strict. And he's holding it up, and I'm kind of leaning like on the captain's seat, the little bench like this, and he's kind of holding it towards me. And it's, the sunset's happening. It's like, it's perfect. It's the most beautiful day, right? Night. Couldn't ask for more. I don't even want to catch fish. I just want him to. And he's holding it up, and it slips out of his hand, and happens. No big deal. It's not going to kill the fish. It's not ideal, but whatever. And these bass have these dorsal fin on them that are about the size of your finger. And, I'd say about an 1/8 inch, 3/16 thick. So it's a sturdy bone spine covered in slime, just like this thing. And he drops it head down, and the fin's like this, and it falls. And as I'm taking the picture, the dorsal fin punctures under my kneecap and goes into my knee and broke off in my kneecap. And this is about a week and a half ago. I have surgery in 2 days. I got to go cut it out. I can hardly walk right now, Geoff. It's just like, it feels like there's a razor blade on the inside of my knee. It like take your breath away, pain every now and then. And I don't think I could do it again if I tried, man. And it happened, and I was like, it hurt more than it should have. Like a puncture wound, I get it, it hurt. But it was like, oh my God, like we might have to go in. And then it went away, and it was no big deal. I thought it was getting better, but then it just got worse. And long story short, x-rays, MRI, the whole thing, surgery on Friday. It's got to come out.
That's a raw deal.
God, it's so...
That sounds painful.
Oh man, it hurts. I mean, it hurts like hell.
Whenever you have a foreign body like that, like shoved underneath like a bone,
right,
or jammed in the muscle, it's never a good thing. It always goes septic, or just you have a issue with it. That's a different kind of pain. I'm not used to having things jammed underneath it, where it's more like coming down. But I feel for you right there. That's a field injury right there. That's a outdoorsman injury, which we've seen, getting kicked by a horse in the nads. And
if you survive it and don't, or whatever, I'm not going to go dying on this one. Knock on wood, for God's sakes. But like, it's a type 2 one, right? Where it's like, once we get away with it and it's all good, we'll talk about this more than we'll talk about the fish he caught that day. It'll be a story for forever,
well, he'll remember it. You'll remember the pain. You'll remember the fish.
The whole thing.
And probably your face.
Yeah, the whole thing. It's just, it
didn't taint him though, did it?
No, I mean, I made it very clear that it was like, hey, buddy, it was an accident. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't, it's no big, could have happened. Freak accident, buddy. I'm going to get it taken care of, and we'll go. I'm just pissed off. Getting hurt sucks. It's just
hurt sucks. I actually had I have a similar story with a bobcat.
Oh,
right?
gosh,
Like
a bobcat.
Yeah, 100 bobcats. I watched one of your other shows the other day, and the question to you was how many bobcats it would take to kill you. Right? It was one of your other shows that you had, and you said 5.
Right.
Is what you said. I think you can do more than 5.
Yeah, right.
I think the first 3 you're going to throw at a tree on there, but I shot a bobcat. So I was hunting. I credited a hunt for fun. Like that's what I like to do. And I shot a bobcat with a shotgun in the snow, and it was with a 20 gauge. I was actually hunting fox at the time. And this bobcat came in like crashing loud, like crash, right behind you. And it's one of them moments where you're like, oh man, I hope it's not a bear, or I hope it's not a mountain lion. Because it came in that quick and that noisy. And I looked to my left and it was 4 yards away. So I shot it, right? And I basically just shot it and killed it and was carrying out. And I was lifting it up with my hand completely up in the air. And the bobcat was touching the ground. That's how big the bobcat was. It was like a 25-pound bobcat when I weighed it.
Wow.
Just a monster.
Yeah.
And as I was walking down the canyon carrying the bobcat out, it was so tall, I couldn't keep the head of the bobcat out of the snow, and I was lifting it as high as I could carry it with my arms. I slipped, and a tree branch went under the front of my knee muscle, like just on the top of my kneecap, and and pulled a big, so I have a scar it's about 4 inches on the above of my knee, and I've actually had to have the tissue worked out for the last couple of years on and off.
Wow.
Because of the scar tissue on the top of the muscle from that damn big bobcat. It's good to have though. It's kind of cool though. It's like having like a cat scratch across your face.
That's a big cat, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was dead after when that happened, right? But
yeah, point blank with a shotgun will do that.
Point blank with a shotgun will do that.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, man, because you know I feel like most people who are familiar with you know you from your skating, right? You built a whole career out of it. I mean, you still do it. Just a legend in the space, man. But then as I got to learn more about you and meet you and know some people that, you know, run in the same circles of your involvement in conservation and hunting, and just the outdoors in general, man. And we both share that passion, and you seem like, and people that I know that have, you know, you've taken that fire, that like, you know, it's your new skating in a sense, right? Like it's your new 15 set of stairs is going and doing, you know, is out in the wilderness now, right? Or I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but like, let's talk a little bit about how you got into hunting and what you do with it now.
Well, we touched on injuries, right? Injuries are difficult in the space that I'm in. Like we just beat ourselves up all the time. So trying to stay in shape is a constant battle, you know, and it crosses over into your diet, you know, into your lifestyle, your health, all the above. I was having a hard time, like about 2010 to 2013. I just wasn't recovering, you know, and that's a hard time for a guy too in the late 20s, early 30s. I didn't feel settled. My body it just didn't feel like it was recovering from bad slams like it used to. And so I started to get a bunch of nutrition tests to see if I was lacking any trace minerals or what was going on. And, you know, it wasn't that. It wasn't diet. It wasn't all the above. I realized I needed to adopt and change how I stay in shape. And traditionally, I was using classic methods of, you know, Pilates, yoga, all kinds of training to get back in shape. And I've cycled half of North America through the mountains on a bicycle. After every surgery I do, or the last 3 surgeries, I'll do like 500-mile rides, right? So that's one way of like getting your recovery back. But what I found is traditional medicine, traditional sports kind of recovery treatment just didn't work for me. Didn't do anything. Like go to a sports therapy studio and spend 4 hours just standing there to spend 20 minutes stretching and have them put their hands on you for 20 minutes.
Right.
Wasn't enough for me. Wasn't explosive enough. Wasn't fast enough. Wasn't strength building enough. Wasn't just enough time. And so I made a conscious decision. I've always been into the outdoors, and like I've always been around hunting. I haven't always hunted. I was vegetarian when I was growing up. Right? And I would go out with friends of mine who were hunters. I was vegetarian. It was the experience of it. So at this time I was eating meat, right? So I was eating meat in around about 2010 and at a, you know, lean protein diet. I just realized like I needed to change my lifestyle if I was going to have a changed result. And so I called a bunch of people that were guides, hunting guides, friends of mine, people in the outdoor industry saying, like, I know this is a passion of mine. I've always put it on the back burner. I don't know how to start other than hunting for myself, that's what I was saying is I'm going to hunt more. I'm going to hunt more now. I've put it on the back burner too long. And my biggest mentor was a guide and a wildlife artist from England that I grew up with, that I mentioned earlier, has been skating since the early 70s. So he guided in Iowa, Nebraska, Saskatchewan, and Alberta. So that was my mentor. So when I was asking him these questions, we were talking about that. And so he put me in the right track and I started hunting mountain lions. And it was for the experience. So I went 4 or 5 years without shooting one, just to hunt them, to trail them, to learn, to navigate and hunt, learn how to run a hound.
Big cats is how you got into hunting.
Straight out of the gate, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I like predators because you learn predators, you learn prey.
Sure.
Right. And I've always read books. I mean, you see my books here. If I were to show you this collection right here, like is pretty extensive with Southwest hound hunters for autobiographies. So I was obviously interested in just that side of it. The tracking and trailing was a big deal to me. So that's what I started to do. I started to go out into the outdoor a little bit more. And around about that time, I think it was 2011, I met Jake Franklin, who's a hunting guide in the state of California, who's the founder and owner of Kika Outfitters in California. I booked a burr hunt, a black burr, right, in Southern California, and he was my guide. And we got on like house on fire. We didn't kill a burr, although we tried everything. We tried to use me as bait. We tried just about everything. And so we just stayed in touch, and he did, I think, 10 or 11 sheep hunts after I left him that year in 2011. And he would call me after every one and, show me the pictures. And so we just stayed in touch, and I started to go and hang out with him. We started to hunt together. I started to predator hunt with him after he was done with the sheep hunting. And we became really close friends.
Learned a lot from him then. He's been doing it for a while.
I learned a lot from him. I definitely had spent a lot of time prior to that navigating in the outdoors. I was comfortable in the mountains and deserts, not even knowing them. Right. I mean, I was comfortable jumping in.
Sure.
But I didn't know the first thing about desert sheep or where they lived. He was there. So a year after that, he quit working for the outfit he was working for and started Kika Outfitters.
Kika, right? Yep.
Yeah, so that's how I got into it. Like I booked a hunt, and Jake Franklin was my guide. And then a year later or so, he quit the other outfit and started Kika Outfitters. But he wasn't sure because whether he was going to start the outfit because he didn't have any guides and he didn't really have any help, and he was young.
Right.
And so I committed to him, like, hey, I'll be your eyes in the field. If it's just you and I, we can kill every sheep if we can find it. It's just you and me, right? And he was like, yes. So that's what we did. The deal was, you teach me sheep, right? Just throw me everywhere. Teach me sheep, and in turn, I'll go and I'll commit my time to all those hunts to you. Meaning for 3 months out of the year, I'm your bitch.
Right.
Like, I will do anything that it takes for you. So that's what he did. He challenged me, threw me all over the desert to what he knew, and then the rest of it was me going out and just learning it and making the effort myself, and that's kind of how it started. And so I helped guide my first sheep hunt in 2012 with Jake. And we've done a lot of them. We've done the state record, the world record.
No way.
Yeah.
Dang.
And so,
man, I'd like to just pick your brain a little bit about that hunt. I mean, you're not sitting in a blind. You must be busting your ass, right? The terrain must, I mean, I know a little bit about just seeing them on TV or on the internet where these animals live. Doesn't seem very easy to get to.
No, it's a lot of legwork, a lot of map work, a lot of field navigation, a lot of stamina, a lot of physicality. Well, danger just comes with that, right? Because you're in a remote area, you may or may not have the ability to communicate, and you probably won't be able to. Well, you won't be able to get out quick. That's the one thing, because you can't get right. So I spend a lot of time, and I spend about 100 days of the year in the Mojave, about 3 straight months. I run most of our cameras for Kika all across the whole of the desert year round. So I do a lot of scouting for desert sheep. And then I help on all of our other hunts when my time permits or when help is needed. But more importantly, I committed my time over 10 years ago to helping guide. And that has put me in the best shape of my life. I live in the foothills now because I just have to walk every day. I walk about 4 to 8 miles a day, and I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's good for my mind, it's good for my body. And in the last 10 years since working with Kika and working in hunting more, I'm in the best shape I've ever been. I've been more productive than I've ever been. I've put out more skate video parts, and I'd like to do more hunting videos. You and I need to do a hunting video. You were at our pig camp this spring, weren't you? You've been pig hunting out there, and I couldn't meet you, unfortunately, Brad, because I was on my wife's 40th birthday.
Excuses, man. There's always 41, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. She's beautiful.
I'm just kidding, man. You definitely made the right choice.
You're going to get me in trouble, Brad. You know better than that. First day of landing into Portugal and getting pictures of dead pigs from California, Brad on our hunting lease. But no, I love it. And so it's just been really good for me. It's paid dividends to my skating, good for my mental health.
It's huge.
And just, I think it's brought my life full circle. I feel a lot healthier, a lot happier. I have 4 standing freezers, and I'm waiting for you to freaking cook for me.
That's beautiful, man. I think we definitely got to make that happen. Good thing. I think, you know, the two of us, I think we can connect those dots, man. That would be, man. The sheep, that sounds like a heck of a hunt. I mean, we could do anything. I would be stoked to just whatever we shoot, be fun to cook it with you.
Yeah, I just want to spend time with you. I don't like.
I gotta get in shape. I gotta get in shape. Gonna go hunting with Geoff.
No, they don't. It's not like that, Brad. Like,
what else you hunt out there? Deer? Or?
Yeah, I mean everything. In the state of California, we have you know all species of elk, all subspecies of elk. You know, mule deer.
You eat
all
the cats, big cats. I heard they're pretty delicious.
Yeah, mountain lion's really tasty. It's like a silver steak.
I would like to do a mountain lion hunt.
Would you?
Yeah, I would.
Rimrock Outfitters in Arizona.
Yeah,
the best.
Get it done.
Yeah, Andy, not yet.
And what, you do it with a rifle?
You want to go lion hunting?
I want to do a lion hunt with you. I don't want to do it by myself. I'd like to. It would be fun to do a video with you.
Yeah, let's do it.
And I want to cook it because it's the one thing.
It's delicious.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. And
it's a bad rap.
It gets a bad. Most things do, man. I've cooked a coyote and it was absolutely phenomenal. You know, I don't like shooting things that I don't eat. There's something about, you know what I mean. From rabbits to squirrels to, I don't know what that cute little critter is in the back there, but I'm sure it'd be delicious. It's really just more, I think things go wrong when
this is actually a mountain lion.
That's what I'm talking about. Yep.
Yeah.
God, they're terrifying too. What studs of animals, right? Like, they're good beautiful. God.
Physically unchanged for 4 million years.
You don't have to change perfect. It's dialed in.
That's what I'm saying. You know? Don't mess with perfect.
Yeah, so how do you find them things? I can't imagine. What is it, dogs or?
Yeah, I mean, you track, so you just cover as much ground as you can where you think they might be to. Yeah, cover but they got it, and
then what? You're glassing them, because like they're sneaky, right? I feel like they'd be a hard one to find.
They can be. The clever ones play games with you all day, and you'll love it because when you see it happen first, where they double back on you and they're following you. And stuff like that, it's pretty creepy. And having done it, I haven't done it enough. I'm never enough trailing predators, but I've seen quite a few things with lions that have shocked me. Their ability to note, like extrasensory perception, is real. Wow. I believe it. Like I'll on my deathbed believe that they have extrasensory perception. I've seen them do some of the weirdest stuff. Like they just know things, or they learn quick. Some of the older, bigger cats are very, very clever. They use their terrain unique, you know. They very much go to specific pinpoints and high points on their territory to look at as lookouts. So they like good views,
of course,
as well. Interesting animal, very interesting animal. Acts different as well in different states.
I believe it.
You know, very territorial in some areas and then not so in other areas, but. No, like we'll just get out, Brad. Whenever we get out and go hunt, it's going to be a blessing. It's going to be a great time, just spending time with you. I've always enjoyed your personality and your show and what you bring to just the space, and I mean just humanity. You know, like I reached out to you, I think it is because I watched what you were doing with an employee of mine back then from a knife company.
Oh, Silverware.
Yeah, an employee of mine. Her name was Jasmine Wright. She's the one who said, "Hey, you got to see this guy, Brad. He's the fraddest. He's funny." She was like hooked on watching you.
Right.
And she was the first person. Yeah, she was the first person who said, "Hey, check him out." And I watched him and went, "Yeah, engaging character, funny. I like it." There's not we don't have enough people in the world out there like you, Brad.
Oh, well, thank you, man, for
Yeah,
better or
man.
worse. But
I got to kiss your ass at the end
stop.
of the podcast at some point, right?
Well, I did it enough today to you, man. But thank you.
Yeah,
that
I
means
appreciate
the
it.
world to me, man. And it's just, again, like you, it's just it's a blessing that to be able to, that it all is working and it happens, and it I'm just can go away at any moment. So I'm stoked to be able to do it, and stoked to share stories and videos with people, man. And it would be an honor to do a hunt and a cook with you, man. Heck, with or without the camera, but it would make a fun video.
Well, you tell me where and when, you tell me what you want. So either we go hunt, we kill it, and then we go cook it, or you just tell me and I'll just show up with it.
That's true too, man.
That works too, because sometimes that's,
Yeah. Well, it's hard to plan. I mean, you know how it is, man. Like and that's why I've done a few hunting videos and fishing videos and gotten really lucky, because like, God, I mean, you know how it is. You can do everything right and not shoot or catch shit. You know what I mean? Very often.
Do you get a bad rap? That's what a question I wanted to ask you. Is do you actually get a bad rap for your hunting? Because you're in front of a very broad audience. I'm in front of a younger broad audience. You're in front of a broader audience. I would say more people. What's the response from people on that?
To be honest, Geoff, I mean, I think it's from vegans to everything in between to, the carnivore diet folks out there. I mean, like, no one at the end of the day, I think what it's all about is just the treatment of animals. And me consuming animals, man, I care about where they come from and how they're treated and what they're eating and how their life has been more than anything. The more I learn, and I feel like I've never been a better cook in my life, the more you learn about it, that's everything. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to champion that. I'm just trying to champion through my videos and my platforms, we'll call it, the importance of healthy agriculture and practices, and how hunting isn't, when it's done properly, is a very important tool. And listen, if you want to eat vegetables and be a vegetarian, or strictly a vegetarian or vegan for that matter, more power to you. If your body can handle it and it's good for you and you take all, and it works, by all means, right? But like, I think to answer your question, I haven't never really gotten much of a negative response. I've always gotten even ones where people were really concerned about it. I'm just like, trust me, it's how you package it, right? Like, everyone's sick of the factory farming. Everyone's sick of the redneck hunter that shoots animals and leaves it in the woods, right? And they're all reality. But I do think the pendulum is swinging back into the other. And every video I've made, from shooting birds with my friend Eli and gutting them on camera and cooking them and showing the whole process, I actually got quite the opposite. People were just like, thank you for, it doesn't get any better for that animal, in my opinion, than what we're doing. If you're going and buying meat at a supermarket, and I think you should be able to, hunting's not going to, it's not going to solve world hunger right now, right? But like, you have to understand that and people do. I mean, like, that is all happening on a much larger and usually much grosser scale. So if you have a problem with me hunting and geeking out and cracking a tear sometimes when I go and retrieve that animal because it's a spiritual and emotional thing and I just killed something, it's personal, but then also being able to use my skill set as a chef and absolutely geek out with this raw material that is, in my opinion, ancient. It's a part of who we are.
It's forgotten.
It's
a lot of it's forgotten.
Society is just beating it out of us. You know what I mean? But like, people have been hunting and sitting down with people and tribes and family and breaking down animals and fish. And I garden. I absolutely love vegetables, things that I consume. If I can geek out at them from how I'm getting them to how they're prepared and butchered, and I dry age my fish, and I have 200 heads of garlic curing in my barn right now that I grow, and like, food's medicine. I love a good cliche, and they're cliche for a reason. And so to be able to kind of really geek out and share that experience with people, meat's not going anywhere. And as long as I'm alive, I'm not going to stop eating. And I absolutely, I'll eat frog legs right now. I love it all.
Have you eaten Rocky Mountain oysters?
Yeah, I've eaten some balls in my life, Jeff, but we don't have to talk about that.
I've eaten some elk balls and I've eaten some sheep balls, and both were beautiful balls.
It's fine. I'm just warming up to organs and offal. I mean, like the obvious, like the liver pâtés and stuff, and some. I've had some really delicious venison heart, but like I don't always want to eat, kidneys and glands and shit as much as I do like some. I've had it prepared sweetbreads that are delicious and smoked tongue, phenomenal, but like. Yeah, utilizing whole animal is an absolutely beautiful thing, and a lot of those organs tend to be super, some of the most nutrient dense parts of the animal. Which is pretty amazing. But to jump back to your question, just because I think it is such a good one. No, I haven't really gotten negative responses to it, just because I think of what I said. Right? It's just like if you don't like that. Then I don't know, you better be, that's a whole other argument that I tend to get excited about. And I'm no scientist or microbiologist, but how come we can rip the sex organs off of plants and eat them in front of them? And, I do believe plants are a lot more intelligent just because they don't, and same with like clams and mussels, just because they don't have the same nervous system or, who says a monkey doesn't dream? How come maybe plants do cry and feel a type of pain? You know what I mean? Like it's alive. It's, it's taking in and it's letting out. It's growing. In my opinion, it's not much different than me, whether it's a zucchini or a pig. You know what I mean? That's getting a little geeky. And listen, I know.
Yeah, but a simple thing doesn't make it an easy thing.
No, if we're gonna go deep on the topic, I think that's a fair argument. Now, don't get me wrong. The noise of a pig it certainly is feeling pain. It's got these human eyes. Things, it looks at you. It's smarter than most dogs, they say, right? Like I get it. It's not the same as eating an oyster. But it kind of is, you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
It is to the oyster.
It sure is to the oyster, man, right? And I support it all. But what I support the most is just the absolute proper treating of it. I just did a farm out in Oregon with my buddy Elias from Olympia Provisions, man. I'll have to get you some of his product. But I've never met someone that cared so much about where the product come from. So what actual pasture raised animals means and how much of a marketing and dirty kind of business it is that we get provided to us in a lot of supermarkets, and going out and meeting the farmer and seeing this beautiful farm that this biodiverse, not this monoculture, just kind of take profit race to the bottom, high output that was, pumped in, during the industrialization of the food, but an even bigger and older system, an actual sustainable system of biodiversity and regenerative agriculture, and it's actually builds a paradise, and it's really inspiring, man. And the tastes, and at the end of the day, I love the pig. I could pet him and I feel bad for him, but if he lives a good life and it's time, and every part of that animal is utilized, and it's absolutely delicious. I mean, like pig is not the other white meat, you know what I mean? And like it should have flavor and character, and a pig in July shouldn't be the same as a pig in September as far as flavor goes and what it's eaten in the seasonality. I love all that type of, it tastes like sage because of this, it lives in this part of whatever, or it tastes like blueberries because it's gorging on them, and you get it. Like that's the stuff that it just seems, I don't know, it seems to work better in my
works
world.
Better through your body.
And I think
definitely
when done properly, I think it's better for the world.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to see more and more people taking that on. And I just wondered if there was any Brad Leone backlash. You know what I mean? That's nice to hear, Brad.
And any backlash of something like that, I don't mind reading the comments on things because people are usually always pretty nice, man. And like if I have ever had any backlash and I've confronted them and actually responded to them, every single time, unless they're like a crazy person or something, every single time it was always just, oh man, I was just messing around, you know what I mean? Like it could be a 15-year-old kid who's eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in his mom's apartment. So you can't really take some of the comments to, someone that I knew said something, yeah, maybe I would think about it. But like I think it starts, and same with like what you do, man. Like if you just try to keep an integrity and a passion, and you'd have to kind of be a jerk to disagree with me, in my opinion. Not to sound like a jerk myself, but in that topic, when it comes to everyone wants the properly, animals that are properly treated. I think that's
it's hard, isn't it? You're opening yourself up for a real backlash if you leave that one unanswered.
But not to hit another cliche, but if you don't have enemies, you're not doing your job, right?
That's right. There's truth to that.
There is truth to that. So like you can't make everyone happy. There's always going to be there's a million people, they're probably not listening to this podcast, that would very, very, very strongly disagree with a lot of what I said there. But like, that's okay.
Well, we're just having a conversation.
Just having a conversation.
We're just having a conversation. Do you have any hunts coming up?
Well, whitetail season's coming up. Right now it's pretty fish heavy. We've been doing a lot of crabbing, me and the kids, I absolutely love the crabs. We live right on the coast here, man, and just the seafood is it's just really something special, man. If you open door, Jeff, if you ever want to come out and scratch that itch, we go catch some tuna or go spear fishing, man. That's kind of my, I don't consider that hunting anymore. I consider that more of a hunt. So my closest hunt coming up scheduled would probably be for some tog, some blackfish, right in the shallow, 10 to 20 feet of water, even less for God's sakes, right by my house. And it's just really, you just free dive, and it's a very approachable, if you're comfortable in the water. God, it's hunting. That's for sure. It's
have
you ever done spearfishing?
No, I'm like
Jeff,
concrete legs.
That's okay.
I just sink right to the bottom.
You got to put lead belts on anyway. You got to stay neutrally buoyant.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, you want to sink a little bit, so I think you'll do great. But it is, man. It's like going to another planet.
Yeah, amazing.
So that's the next one. But then whitetail's coming up, which I really do love, man. I have really some amazing access to some farms by me that I had a good year last year, and I'm just learning a lot, just doing it solo. And
Will you bow hunt?
Bow hunt and rifle hunt. You got muzzleloader, black powder out here, shotgun season, and then it goes.
So you'll use it all. You're not just a diehard.
No, I love the bow. The archery is amazing, but I also. It's harder. It's you know what I'm saying, and I love that about it. But
more disciplined, isn't it? More positional.
You
more
can't
just
even at certain times you can't even blink, man. You're not, you're not. There's no glassing. You know what I mean? You're shooting things at 10 yards away on an animal that is just hyper tuned at staying alive.
I love
That's
it.
all it does all day is eat shit and stay alive. You know what I mean? And they just deer, man. It's so close quarters like that. But there's nothing like it. I mean, it still makes it feel like the first time you kissed a girl. Like you're up there shaking, your freaking heart's going. Like it's the last time I had this big buck underneath me this fall. Man, I swear to God, I thought he could hear my heartbeat. It was going. I could feel it.
Probably could.
He probably
could feel it.
He probably could sense it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something special. But I like it all, and then I just like eating them, man. I built a walk-in fridge here, and I hang them and dry age them for a little bit, and it's just the meat and the process is just it's awesome. It's
have you had sambar or axis deer?
I have, yeah. It's world
delicious.
class.
Yeah,
I haven't shot one. We should go to Hawaii, Jeff. I'm sure you know some folks down there. I know a couple.
I'm sure you do too.
Axis. We know a couple killers down there. We should go do that, man.
That'd be good. Or get you the Hearst. Get you out to our Hearst ranch.
Yeti, right? You're still working with those lunatics.
I'm going on the Yeti skate tour with Thrasher Magazine the day after tomorrow for 14 days.
You're an absolute maniac.
We're going all over Colorado, and we were supposed to do Montana, but just Colorado. And then we're making a video, and then it'll be a magazine article for Thrasher and Yeti.
Can't wait to see it, man.
So I do a ton with Yeti.
Good.
Both of us work with Yeti, right? Like I've been with Yeti for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years or something, 4 or 5 years.
Let's multitask on this podcast. Let's just turn this into a real quick creative meeting for us, Jeff. Let's talk to our buddies at Yeti, and let's make a video together. You and I maybe go to Hawaii, maybe go to Texas, and shoot some sika deer, maybe a mountain lion, and we cook it all, and we call it work.
Go to a skate park.
Ooh, I'll film.
Yeah.
I'll make Switchel, a really refreshing cocktail.
Let's make the first hunting video, cooking video with a bit of skating in it. Let's make the whole shebang in one
Jeff?
go. I burn everything.
Oh, perfect. Great. Well, then we can definitely make this video because I am not touching a skateboard. I'll break my fucking knees.
But you can laugh at me, right?
Oh, buddy, I'll cook, and I want to see you. You can maybe whatever you're comfortable with. Maybe you can jump over me or do a kickflip over me, or
I'm sure we could
we'll
figure
build
it
a
out.
grill, and you can come up and fucking and tail slide it or whatever. I don't know what you do these days, but I don't know how.
I don't know. You just do it is what we do these days. Bigger and better. That's about it. But no, I think that would be rad. I don't think anybody's,
Let's
in
do
the
it.
same vein.
Let's do it. I'm going to follow up with you, Geoff. I think this is a great idea.
I'd like that.
And then lastly, man, before I know you got to run, bud. I've been chatting with you for a while. I know we got a busy day. I'm sure you got a lot going on. I wanted to chat a little bit about silverware, man. And I still use that one knife that I got from you. I forget the name of the model.
It's called a puncher. I think it was. It was a small pocket folder, but
not the fold. It's a fixed blade. It's a skinner, and I use it to this day to take the skin.
The razor blade comes off the end of it.
I have that one. It's amazing. It's a fixed blade. It's more like a
Has it got a green handle?
Yep.
Yeah, it's probably a packer. It's in a Kydex sheath.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I've been doing it for over 10 years. I just kind of
still going.
Yeah, I'm ramping it back up. It was doing well, and then you know what COVID was like. It was really good for the gun industry, really good for the knife industry for the first year and a half, and then they just closed the door, made it difficult. So I slowed down. Year before last, I slowed the company down a little bit, and now I'm kind of ramping it back up. I've got new partners, new distribution, new manufacturing capabilities, local to my house here, which is huge with knives. Having your hands on it and going through the development periods when you're on site is makes a big difference. So yeah, just ramping it back up, and just so I have a ton of new knives coming. A bunch of different pocket folders, hunting knives, outdoor knives, and a bunch of gear. Been making flannels, pants, bunch of stuff, but mainly knives. We're a knife company. We're focused on making and developing good knives. And I've always done product, Brad. The whole stuff I've done with Vans my whole life, and then I was partnered in the skateboard business. I'm partnered in a skateboard factory as well, back east in Maine. So I've always had my hands in product with every brand. A lot of the brands I've worked with, I wouldn't say all of them, but a lot of them. And, but Civilware is a little more personal. It's kind of like my just thing that I do that keeps my product and engineering and product ideas. It gives me an outlet.
Heck yeah, man.
It gives me an outdoor outlet as well. Meaning on my own personal, if I post every day that I'm hunting, it just makes it look like I'm a hunter all the time, when I'm a professional skateboarder that hunts every day is what I am. So how do I show that without, so it gives me that outlet, to where I have a separate outlet that's outdoor specific, which I really like. And just, I enjoy creating and being part of that, making all the skate videos and making videos like what you do with your food and with your YouTube channel, all the different shows and different ways that you show your work. So it just keeps me nimble, keeps me young, keeps me happy, and it keeps me focused on better product, and I think the hunting space and the outdoor industry can always do with better product. I think there's a lot of knife brands out there and a lot of gun companies out there that they're just boring. Their design's boring, their brand is boring. And I hope, with Civilware to just bring a little bit more color, a little bit more fun, and just a little bit more of a lifestyle, to the outdoor knives. And that's it really, Brad. Not trying to change the world, just trying to be a good influence to my children and people out there, and not be an asshole.
Well, Geoff, I don't know, man. I think that's kind of how you do kind of change the world a little, just by keeping it a good one within your own, right? And then it kind of just ripples out, and I think what you're doing is you're an inspiration, man. And I'm stoked to call you a buddy. And then we're going to definitely make some cool videos together and just hang out, man, because you're the best, man. And check them out, guys. Civilware. Is anywhere else you got? You're on the Instagrams and all that stuff. Is there anything you want to shout out besides that Yeti Thrasher video you got coming out?
No, life's good. We don't need any product placement at the end. We just need to be stoked. So I just want to tell everybody to just have a lovely day and just fire up. Just enjoy your life.
Dude, you're the best, dude. Geoff Rowley, not Rowley, right?
Not Rowley, Rowley.
I knew it. Heck yeah. I forget where I saw that somewhere. Because I always struggled. I never, when I even asked you when I met you, but I think I just forgot. But for folks out there, it is Rowley. All right, Rowley.
Yeah.
Because I said Rowley forever.
Yeah, thank you, Brad. I appreciate you clarifying.
Man, I appreciate you, Geoff. We love you, and thanks for coming on, buddy. We'll chat soon.
This episode was produced by Brad Leone and Carolyn Gagnon in partnership with Studio 71. It was edited by Kate Brunotts with music by Harrison Menzel.